Hi, poets. I have had so much fun reading your poems so far this week, from week two. Thank you for your great work and for your great participation in Poetry Workshop. I've realized with the Google Docs, it can start to get pretty cluttered and hard to see all of the feedback with so many people commenting on a single poem. So I wanted to show you a few tips about how to navigate all of the comments in the margins. So the first thing I want to ask all of you actually, and this is in an announcement I'm sending out, is when you name your Google Doc, what I'd like you to do is start the name with your name and then whatever else you want to add so that you can easily identify the poems wherever you store them. So that way I can see at a glance whose poem I am responding to without having to look back to where I opened it from. And you'll see that I have added a comment to help myself, but in the future, if you can put your name at the start of your document name, that would be really helpful. And just your first name is fine, except for the Austins. I'll need a last initial. So one thing to know about looking at the comments in the margins is when you click on a highlighted spot in the document, it will let you see which comment is associated with that highlighted part of the text. So here, this comment is associated with that part of the text. Once we get into the poem, when the whole poem is highlighted like this, what you can do is click on different parts of it to see what highlights, if there's an individual part of it that highlights as you go through it. So this is not, oh, there we go. So now we see that whereas the whole poem is highlighted here, when I click down here, I see just one piece of a line that's been highlighted. And as I keep going, I can identify other places where there are comments that show up. So you kind of have to keep clicking through the poem in order to see all of the comments. The other way to do it, of course, is to just start at the top and move down. And for each new comment, when you click on it, you'll see what part of the poem is highlighted and what it associates with. So that's the other way, and to just scroll down slowly and click on each comment as it shows up. And you'll see that very often with the comments, I have done a reply to someone else's comment to oftentimes elaborate and push you a little bit and recognize what you can do next time to make your feedback even stronger and more specific. So you'll want to not only see what your peers are saying, but click on all the comments so that you can see if there's any feedback from me. The other thing you can see is when I click on a particular comment, it opens up to show the whole comment. So before I clicked on it, it showed just a small portion of it. You can also click on that little show more link, and then that will open it up as well. One final way you can look at feedback, this might not work quite as well because it's harder to see what the feedback is associated with, but you can click on this little comment history bubble at the top of the page, the upper right top of the page. When I click on that, it shows me the whole comment history in order of when the comments were made. So because I'm coming in after everyone else, you'll see my comments that at the top of the page. But you won't always necessarily see what it connects to in terms of responding to someone else. So, but it's just another way to look at what's there, and you can see the selected text that is being referenced from at the top of the little banner here for each comment. So that's a couple different ways to navigate and make sense of the good range of comments that are in each document. And if you ever have a question about my comments, whether it is a comment to the poet or a response to one of the responders, absolutely you can either email me to ask about it, or you can use this little reply option and send a comment back to me. Or you can say, oh, that's really helpful. I hadn't thought about it that way. So you can have a little bit of a dialogue there if you want. All right, I hope that's helpful, everyone. I'm really excited about your week 3 poems.